West Ham United have had a weird year of football. In the Premier League, they were shocking, only managing to get a 14th place finish at the end of the season. But in Europe, it was a different story. They made it to the Conference League final where they beat Fiorentina to win their first major trophy since 1980. But even with their accomplishments this season, I think I can do better. So today, I'm taking control of West Ham United, and by the end of this video, I will make them the best team in the world. And the wheel is making its return with a couple of new options on there, which you'll see sooner or later. So this is the West Ham starting 11 I've loaded into, and you know what? It is a pretty good squad. Even though they finished 14th in the Prem, they have got some serious ballers in this team. The likes of Lucas Paqueta, Juan Lucas Scamacca, and the man who scored the winning goal in the Conference League final, Jared Bowen. But obviously, when you take a look at the team, there is one big absence. Declan Rice has officially made his move from West Ham United to Arsenal, but I've got to respect him. He did win West Ham United the Conference League before he left. But that doesn't change the fact that we are majorly lacking in quality in our midfield now. And you guys guessed it, I'm not messing with the formation at all. I really enjoy using the 4-2-3-1. And the board have given us quite a chunk of money, 62 million to spend in season 1. Now I know you guys are thinking Declan Rice is going to Arsenal for over 100 million, so why haven't I given myself 100 extra million to work with? That's because I wanted to make this just a little bit more challenging for myself. But going back to the team, I've rearranged it so it's our strongest starting 11, but there's still a lot of work that needs doing with this squad. Primarily our midfielder, no Downs in real life is a half decent player, but he's not good enough for what we need. And once we've sorted that out, we need to look at this defense, primarily our fullbacks. I'm going to leave our two centre backs alone because they're pretty decent. But saying this doesn't mean anything. We've got a wheel that's dictating what we can do. So with that being said, let's spin the wheel for the very first time and see what we're going to get. Your choice. Okay, sign whoever you want. Bloody hell, what a start that is. Now remember, we've only got 2 transfers per season and 62 million to spend this year, so we're going to have to be very tactical with our first signing. And I'm sticking to my guns. We need a better midfielder in place of Downs, and I think I know just the player. I'm going for somebody who's far better than where he's playing right now. James Ward-Prowse. He's 81 rated, 27 years old. I'm sorry, Edgar AS, but I'm stealing your boy. But Southampton really weren't letting him go that easily, as we've just spent 27 million on the dot for him. To be fair, guys, midfield up in this squad, it's absolutely sound. I'm leaving that as it is. We just need to now work on our defense, primarily bringing in a better left back. So we're traveling back to the wheel for the final time in season 1. What's it going to give us this time? Wasted potential. What's that? Sign a failed wonder kid. Oh, come on, man. We were doing so well as well. I think for this season, at least, we got to scrap the idea of getting a better defender. We've just got to find a failed wonder kid. Now, boys, get ready. I'm about to take you on a trip down memory lane. Emre Moore. I remember this guy being an absolute beast back in the day, and he had so much potential. He's only 73 rated. Another one's Maximilian Lyer, a product of Schalke, I do believe, but he's only 73 rated as well. Another one's Lazar Markovic. Remember Liverpool buying this guy and everyone being dead excited about what he could do, but it turns out he couldn't really do all that much. Another one is Juan Fernando Quintero. He used to play for Porto. He is 78 overall, to be fair to him, but we can all agree he's not lived up to his potential. And finally, Julian Draxler. He had all the potential in the world, just like his former teammate Maximilian Meyer, but I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what happened to this guy. All I know is his career just fell off. Now, I think it doesn't matter who I buy from these guys, it just matters that I buy one of them. And I opted to go for the Colombian central attacker midfielder Quintero, and he only cost me £10 million. I won't lie to you, I'm a little gutted I didn't go for a bigger player than James Ward-Prowse. We've still got 19 million left to spend, but we can't touch that now because our transfers are done. Which does leave the starting 11 looking like this going into season 1. And you know what, whilst we do have a shaky defence, our midfield solid and our attack solid, and we've got a decent keeper, so really we should be striving for a top 10 finish at least. But in fairness, as long as we do better than they did in real life, I'm not too fussed. And because they won the Conference League in real life, we put them into the Europa League this year. They're in Group A alongside PSV, Bodo Glimt and FC Zurich. And I think we've got a good shot at topping the group. PSV and Bodo Glimt are a decent side, but I think we're a little bit better right now. Well, we've just arrived in January and we are doing very well. We're 7th in the league halfway through the season. And we're only 6 points off the top 4. You never know what could happen at the end of the year. And we've also topped Group A of the Europa League and we're cruising to the round of 16. Honestly, boys, so far so good. And there are a couple of standout players so far. Lucas Paqueta getting 14 and 4 and Danny Ings getting 9 and 1. I'm not really happy about Scamacca only getting 8 games though. He's 81 rated, for God's sake. Why isn't he in the starting 11? But obviously we've made our 2 transfers this year, so this is the team's going to finish off season 1. And it is as bad as you think. Jared Bowen's out for another 6 months. He's going to miss the remainder of season 1. And Vladimir Kufal's out for 4 months as well. Boys, it it isn't looking good at all now, is it? Before those injuries, I genuinely thought we were going to get a top 6 finish, maybe even creep into the top 4, but now we've got no chance. With the situation as it is, I'd just be happy to get a top 10 finish by the end of this year. Well, we just arrived in June, and don't ask me how we've done it. We're 5th in the league at the end of the season. We've somehow done this without one of our best players. I seriously don't know how we pulled this off. But this sounds about right. We only made it to the round of 16 before Braga kicked our arses. Saying that though, the growth in some of these players this year has been absolutely mental. And to be fair, there's only been one standout individual. Lucas Piqueta gained 25 goals and 8 assists from that central attacking midfielder position. Even with Jared Bowen and Kufel being injured for half the season, we still pulled off a top 6 finish in the Prem. That is pretty damn impressive. But next year we've got to strive for higher than that. I want top 4 football, and I'd like to do a little better in Europe next year. But hang on, if you're still watching, consider dropping this video a like and hitting that subscribe button. We're currently on the road to 30,000 subscribers before the end of next month, so if you can help me out achieving that goal, that would be amazing. So we're now heading into season 2, and honestly, it doesn't take a genius to work out where we need to improve the squad. It is literally just our fullbacks that are the weakest link in this team. Once we sorted those positions out, we are in contention for top 4 football. And boys, we've got more than double our previous budget, 138 million to spend this year. So we know where we need to improve the team. We've got the money to improve it. We just need the wheel to be on our side this time. Right, Wheel, you were against me last year. Be on my side this time, for God's sake. What league below? Okay, that's a new one. Sign a player from the league below the one you're playing in, for God's sake. Okay, buying from the championship isn't ideal, but that does at least mean we get free reign to buy anybody we want from this league. And boys, you ain't gonna believe who I found playing for Burnley. Rayan Cherki, who's 19 years old. He is 76 overall. He's an exciting prospect, so I'm gonna send him back out on loan once I've signed him. And to be fair, we bought him really cheap, as he only cost us 15.7 million. I'll be honest with you, I still think that spin of the wheel was a bit of an L. He is 76 overall and 19 years old, but he's got no chance of fitting into the team yet. So realistically speaking, we just spent 15 million for nothing. We can now only sign one fullback to improve our defense, and I'm going to go for Emerson purely because Ben Johnson's younger. Let's just hope the second spin of the wheel is a little bit better than the first. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? World Cup winners. Something to do with Argentina, I'm assuming. Buy any player you want. That is a really good option we've just bloody landed on. Now we do have 3 solid fullback options from Argentina. We've got Marcos Acuna, who's 85 rated at 31 years old, Juan Foyth, who's 80 rated at 25 years old, and Nahuel Molina, who's 82 rated at 25 years old. They are all very solid options, but to be honest, I think I've changed my mind. We've still got 119 million in our budget, and if we buy one of those fullbacks, we aren't even going to scratch the surface on touching this money. Now I have said repeatedly we do need better fullbacks, but neither Johnson or Emerson are close to touching 30, so realistically all they're going to do is improve. I think whilst we can, we've got to take advantage of how much money we've got and blow it all on one seriously good player. This is why I'm going to go for Argentinian midfielder Enzo Fernandez, who's 22 years old and he's 84 rated already. I know he plays for Chelsea and they're rivals with West Ham, but I'm a Chelsea fan. I'll let it slide for one video at least. And trust me when I say Chelsea were being very stubborn about this, as we've just had to spend 80 million on the dot to sign him for a 5-year contract. And with that, our transfers are all used up, and this is the new West Ham United team going into season 2. And as you can see, I switched to the 4-3-3 attacking variation. This is because we've now got 2 box-to-box midfielders. It just makes sense. I personally think I've made the right choice not bringing in better fullbacks, because we can always do that in a couple of seasons time anyway. But this season I've got high expectations for this side. I want a top 4 finish, and I definitely want to do better in Europe this year. And speaking of Europe, we are once again in the Europa League. We're in Group F alongside Fenerbahce, Copenhagen and Djurgårdens IF. And let's be honest, we've got a far superior team to what we had last year, so this time I'm definitely expecting us to top the group with flying colours. Well, we've just arrived in January and it isn't looking that good. We're 7th in the league halfway through the season. Now, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed, because with the team we've got now, I definitely was expecting us to at least be 6th place. And we've once again topped the group stage in the Europa League and we're cruising to the round of 16. Now, trust me, you ain't going to believe who the top goal scorer is. Danny Ings with 11 goals and 1 assist in 14 games. Even though Skamaka's improving in overall, he's only got 7 goals and 1 assist in 25 games. How is Danny Ings the better striker out of the two? And obviously we have already used up our 2 transfers, so this is the West Ham United team that's going to finish off season 2. And the good news for us, there's absolutely no injuries in the team, and there's also been a lot of improvements. Really, this squad should be aiming for at least top 6 football. I'd be very disappointed if we were still 7th come the end of season 2. Well boys, we've just arrived in June and we flopped. It was 7th in the league at the end of this season. And not only that, we were 12 points behind 6th place Aston Villa, man. We just weren't at the races this year. But we did make it to the Europa League final, losing out to PSG 2-1. I mean, why are PSG in the Europa League, man? How does that even make sense? The only thing letting this team down now is the defense, and I promise next year that is actually going to get sorted. And thankfully, Scamacca did find his shooting boots after all. 28 goals and 2 assists for him, 15 and 3 for Jarrod Bowen, 12 and 1 for Danny Ings, 11 and 14 for Paqueta, 9 and 4 for Cornet, and 6 and 11 for Enzo Fernandez. It's been a weird year. We finished 7th in the Prem, which is massively underachieving, but we overachieved in the Europa League by making it to the final. But next year, we're hopefully going to fix that defensive situation out and hopefully get a better finish in the Premier League. We're going to start season 3 this time by spinning the wheel. Rivals or league... Oh, not league below. Again, man. We need better players, not bloody worse. Now, obviously, we need better defenders because Emerson is definitely the weakest link in this team. But with us only being able to buy from the Championship, I'm just going to buy the best player I possibly can. And whilst our budget has dropped, we still have a lot of money. 97 million to spend in season 3. Now, I have found 2 pretty solid players from the Championship. Moises Caicedo from Leicester City and also Danilo from Nottingham Forest. But I'm going to go for neither of them and I'm going to go in a different direction. We haven't got a good second choice goalkeeper, which is why I'm going for Turkish international Ersin Destinoglu, who's 23 years old and 78 rated. And to be fair, I do think we slightly overpaid for him because we've just had to spend 17.8 million to sign him on a 5-year deal. So now we've got a better second choice goalkeeper. That's that issue sorted. But we really do need to bring in a better fullback than Emerson. Otherwise, I don't think we're going to do that well this year in the Premier League. This wheel has honestly been a right pain in my backside in this video. Oh, I take that back. Your choice. That looks good. Sign whoever you want. At last. Thank God for that. We've now got free reign to buy whoever we want. I wonder where we're going to buy for. And the best part is we still have 75 million to spend, so I've got a lot of money to spend on only one player. I'm going for a player I've actually never bought before on career mode. Andrew Robertson from Liverpool. He's 30 years old, 86 rated. He's still, in my opinion, one of the best left backs in the world. And boys, we have just made the deal happen. We have just signed Andrew Robertson for 60 million on the dot. And with that, our transfers are used up, and this is the West Ham team going into season 3. Now, I'm going to be real with you guys. This team is definitely capable of getting top 6 football this year, maybe even top 4. And we are once again in the Europa League for the 3rd season running. We're in Group G alongside Besiktas, Maritimo, and also Molde FK. And for the 3rd season running, you guys are probably guessing where this is going. I want to top this group. And boys, we've arrived in January, and this is more like it. We're 3rd in the league after 19 games. This is what I know this team is capable of. The only downside is we're 3 points behind frigging Spurs. And this time we've topped the group in style. 6 wins from 6, undefeated. Well, the stats don't really display how well we're actually performing. 10 and 1 for Scamacca, 9 and 1 for Bowen, 9 and 4 for Cornet, 8 and 2 for Paqueta, and 5 and 11 for Enzo Fernandez. And obviously, we've used our transfers this year, so this is the West Ham team going to finish off season 3. And we really can't get through a season without an injury, can we? Destinoglu's picked up an anterior cruciate ligament injury for 4 goddamn months. But overall, at least, this team as a whole has massively improved. With the likes of 85 overall James Ward-Prowse, 89 overall Lucas Paqueta, and of course 90 overall Juan Lucas Scamacca, man. These boys are doing the heavy lifting in this squad. But come June, I want to win the Europa League, and I definitely want to finish inside the top 4 this year in the Prem. Well, we've just arrived in June, boys, and we've done it. We're top 4, 3rd in the league at the end of this season, and we have got Champions League football for season 4. And the best part is we're 6 points above the bottle jobs. Don't you just love it? And we've also won the Europa League, beating Bayer Leverkusen 2-1 in the final. I swear, this season's just getting better and better. Honestly, if we get lucky with the wheel next year, we are potentially looking at a very good Champions League Cup run. Now, these stats are looking much better. 29 and 5 for Scamacca, 22 and 8 for Cornet, 21 and 14 for Paqueta, and 19 and 7 for Bowen. This has been our biggest W with West Ham United so far. Top 4 football in the Prem, and we've won the Europa League. But one bad spin of that wheel next year, and all of this could come crumbling down just like that. We're now now heading into season 4 with West Ham, and there's only 2 areas of this pitch we really need to improve. Now, as much as Ben Johnson's actually been pretty decent for us, we definitely need to make sure we get a better right back. And again, Cornet's been amazing for us, but we definitely need a better left winger as well. Once we sorted those positions out, I think we've got a good season ahead of us. And we've got no issues regarding the budget, 160 million to spend this year. So we know where we need to improve the team, we've got the money to do it, we just need the wheel to once again be on our side. At this point, we really cannot afford to land on something that's red. Is that free agents? Do you know what? I will definitely take free agents. We haven't had that yet. And I'll be honest, I think I might have found Mahrez's regen. 78 rated Tariq Ahmed. He's only 20 years old. He won't get into the team, but I can just send him out on loan and hopefully he'll grow into a beast. And after that signing and sorting everybody's contracts out, we still have 142 million to spend. We just need one good spin of that wheel. The free agents option was probably the worst green one we could have landed on, so whoa, please, 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 top 6. That is amazing by a player from the team who finished in the top 6 in the league last year. Okay, this we've got a very good chance of doing well this year now. And as you can see, we've got the choice from Man City, Liverpool, Spurs, Newcastle United, and Man United as well. Boys, we are going to be spoiled for choice with this one. And out of the 2 positions I mentioned, I'm definitely going to bring in a better right back. And boys, we've got some good options. João Cancelo, who's 87 rated and 31 years old. Diogo Dalot, who's 26 years old and 86 rated. But the one I'm going for is younger and better than both of them. Look, Sherrell Goutrida from Tottenham Hotspur, 24 years old and 86 rated. And we have finally finished improving our defence after buying Goutrida for 80.2 million. And with that, our transfer window's done, and this is the new and improved West Ham United side going into season 4. And for the first time, we have got no weaknesses in our starting 11. Obviously, Cornet is 82 overall, but when your weakest player is that overall, that's when you know you got a good team. And it's safe to say my expectations are higher than last year. I want top 4 football, and I definitely want to get to at least the quarterfinals of the Champions League this time. And we've actually got a great opportunity of early silverware in the Super Cup against Manchester United. If we beat these guys right here, this could be a great indication of how we're going to... Oh, we've beaten last year's Champions League winners. If that's not a good sign, I don't know what is. And in the Champions League, we've been put into Group F alongside Inter Milan, Galatasaray, and LASK. Now, this might come across big-headed, but I don't care. I want to top this group as well. I definitely think we've got a better team than Inter Milan. We've just arrived in January, and to be honest, I'm disappointed. We're 5th in the league after 20 games. Now, don't get it twisted. There's only a couple of points separating ourselves from the top 4, but I still expect us to be in that top 4 right now. And for the 4th season running, we've topped our group in European competition. We're cruising to the round of 16. But what makes this crazy is Inter Milan have finished 3rd and they're in the Europa League now. And to be fair, there's one man carrying the weight of this team. Scamacca with 23 goals and 4 assists in 30 games is absolutely mental. And obviously we made our transfers this year, so this is the team that's going to go into the knockouts for the very first time. And there has been some serious improvement. Cornet's now 85 rated, man. He's shot up like a rocket this year. And I'll be honest with you, as much as I want us to do really well in the Champions League, I don't know how we're going to do. We beat last year's Champions League winners in the Super Cup. We've topped our group stage, but we aren't doing that well in the Premier League, so it's kind of hit and miss. Having said that, if we make it to the quarterfinals, I'd consider that a massive W. And first up in the round of 16 is German giants Bayern Munich, and I actually think they've got a far better team than us. They've got Osimhen, Odegaard, Gravenberch, Alphonso Davies. That team is stacked with talent. But I suppose you never know how it's going to go. We're away from home in the first leg. West Ham, don't let me... It's a 1-0 win. Of course it was going to be Jared Bowen to get us the goal. Who else was it going to be? We've got a 1-goal advantage against Bayern Munich in the second leg. Can we take advantage of it is the question. West Ham, do not let me down here. But oh my god, we beat them back-to-back. Enzo in the 29th, Scamacca in the 76th, and we go to the quarters. And up next in the knockouts is actually European giants Liverpool, and when you take a look at their team, I'll be real, I think ours is way better. But we got to prove that on the pitch. We're away from home at Anfield in the first leg. West Ham to 1-1 draw. Bowen in the 8th, Darwin in the 60th, and we go to the second leg. We are so close to that semi-final. We're 1-1 on aggregate. All it takes is one goal that separates. Oh my god, that's legit all it took as well. Aguard is suspended for the first leg of the semis, but Scamacca in the 59th puts us in the semi-final. And up next in the knockouts is current Champions League winners Manchester City, and their team is absolutely insane. And it really isn't looking good for us. Robertson's injured and Aguerd is suspended for the first leg, so we're just going to get straight into it. Probably going to get our backsides added to us, but I mean, 2-0. That's kind of respectable when you take everything into consideration, but that's our Champions League journey over. We have Aguerd back in the team, but Robertson is still injured. I think he's going to be out for the remainder of the season, but we're going to get into this game. We're 2-0 down on aggregate. I'm not expecting much. Oh, wow, we really did put up a fight in the end. We lost 3-2, 5-2 overall on aggregate, but we are not making it to the final this year. Honestly, if Robertson and Aguerd were available in the first leg, this may not have happened, but who knows what will have happened at this point. Hopefully, though, come the end of the season, we'll once again be in the top four and we can have another crack at the Champions League next year. Well, boys, we've just arrived in June and we've done it once again. We're third in the league, only 3 points behind league leaders Arsenal. I can't lie, though, the fact that Bottle Jobs finished above us once again is actually a little infuriating. And we had a really good FA Cup run this time, getting to the semis before getting knocked out by Sheffield United of all goddamn teams. I honestly think Robertson's injury cost us in the Champions League this year. If he wasn't injured, we'd be in the final. And these stats are bloody brilliant this year. 49 and 10 for Scamacca, 20 and 19 for Paqueta, 17 and 8 for Jared Bowen, and 7 and 12 for bloody Enzo Fernandez. Every season we keep getting better. Top 4 once again in the Prem, and we made it to the semis of the Champions League this time. If we get lucky with that wheel just once next year, I can guarantee you now we make it to the final of the Champions League. We're starting season 5 by spinning the wheel. Don't land on red, for God's sake. Free agents, honestly, that... You know what? I'll definitely take free agents at this point. Now, looking at this team, I'm going to be honest with you, there's nowhere on that pitch I actually want to improve now. Cornet shot up like a rocket, so is Bowen. Like, literally, there is no weakness in that starting 11. Having said that, our subs bench is lacking in quality. We need a striker and we need another centre-back. And hopefully there is someone in that free agents list I can bring into the team. So I'll be honest, the free agents list was kind of dead, but there was one good player, Mitchell Bakker, who's a fullback. He's 79 rated, 26 years old. I'm going to try my best to convert him to a centre-back. And to be fair, it'll only take 16 weeks to convert him to a centre-back, so that'll actually work. So luckily, we've got our centre-back sorted for the subs bench. Now we just need a better striker. And I've just realised something. I haven't showed you our budget yet, have I? 194 million to spend. So the only thing stopping us from getting a good striker is the wheel. One more good spin is all we need, boys. One more good spin. League ball. We've got to buy from the Championship again. That is not what you want to see. And to my surprise, there are actually a couple of good choices down there for strikers, starting with Rafa Mir from Nottingham Forest, who's 82 overall at 29 years old. Ferran Joklu, who's 27 years old, 81 overall. And also Bamba Dieng, who's 26 years old and 81 overall. Now, they are all good choices, but the one I want is Henrique Araujo, who currently plays for Watford. He's 24 years old and already 82 rated. And I'll be honest, we have just had to massively overpay for Araujo because Watford weren't letting him go easily, as we've just had to spend 59.4 million on him. And with that, our 2 transfers are done, and this is the team that's going to go into season 5. The starting 11 looks amazing. The subs bench is riddled with quality as well. I think we're definitely ready for this year. And of course, we are in the Champions League once again in Group C alongside Athletic Bilbao, Feyenoord and Başakşehir. And you know what I want. 5th season running, I want us to top the group. Boys, we just arrived in January and you ain't going to believe this. We're first in the league after 20 games and we're first by 13 points. If we somehow choke this lead, we are legit worse than Arsenal. And for the 5th time in a row, we have topped our group stage in the European competition and we're cruising to the round of 16. And this time our front 3 are getting involved in the action. Scamacca with 21 and 4, 29 for Bowen and 10 and 6 for Cornet. And obviously we've made our transfers this year, so this is the starting 11 that's going to go into the knockouts. If last year we made it to the semis with a weaker team than this, we should surely get to the final this time. And after destroying Nice in the round of 16 and just getting past Feyenoord in the quarters, we are now in the semi-final. And boys, next up is Atletico Madrid, and I'll be completely honest with you, I think we absolutely smoked this team. We're going to get into this game. We're away from home in the first leg. West Ham don't let me down. Lucas Paqueta and Cornet get us the goals that give us the advantage going into the second leg. Boys, we are literally a draw away from getting to that final. We're 2-1 up on aggregate. At home in the second leg, And we are there. We are in the final at long last. It went extra time though, but Enzo and Gertrude in the 95th and 105th put us in the final. And in that Champions League final, we face Italian giant Juve. And boys, we've stormed the Premier League, first place by 15 points in the end. And do you know what's actually mad? We were 2 points away from 100 points, man. We were almost the Centurions. But we lost to the Bottle Jobs 4-2 in the FA Cup final. Have I ever told you how much I despise Tottenham? And the stats this year are crazy. 45 and 13 for Scamacca, 13 16 for Bowen, 18 and 8 for Cornet, 12 and 12 for Paqueta, and 8 and 2 for Gertrude, and 8 and 10 for Fernandez. But to be fair, when you look at the team, I'm not actually surprised in the slightest of what we've achieved this year. And I'll be real with you, if I played with this team, Juve wouldn't stand a chance, so I'm going to let the AI take control of my team, and I'm going to sit back and relax and watch these boys become the best team in the world. I've just realised in real life, these guys won the Conference League, we've won the Europa League with them, so if we win the Champions League with them now, they have literally won all the European competitions. Scamacca's received, he's looking for Bowen, I'm assuming, and he's found him, but what the... Honestly, I question what the AI does so much sometimes. Ward-Prowse, Paqueta, Scamacca to Cornet. This is decent football.
Nope.
Oh, that was actually for once the right call. Jared Bowen's picked up. Oh, Scamacca! Look at that, Scamacca, you little poacher. But right place, right time. 18 minutes in, and we are 1-0 up. That was a beautiful tackle here, and it goes straight to Jab with Bowen. Bowen crosses it to Scamacca, and Scamacca, well, we all know the rest. Juve, I don't think you stand a chance. We almost got 100 points in the Prem. What the friggin' hell have you done this year? Rodri is on the ball. I don't think that's Man City's Rodri either. He's a bit too small for it. Scamacca's on the wing. I don't know why a 6-foot-odd striker's on the wing, but it's working out. Pass it! Bowen! Oh, that's offside, isn't it? Is that off? Wait, is that off? That's not offside! Nah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll take the goal, but Paqueta, surely to God that's offside. Okay, let's look at this. Oh, I think my man on the right, look at that. My man on the right's playing him onside, and we're 2-0 up. This has to be the first time the AI are actually playing like footballers would in real life, man. It's actually quite refreshing. Case is on the ball now. He's trying to find options. West Ham players are absolute. Look at that. That is beautiful defending. That is genuinely the best 45 minutes I've had watching the AI play football, man. Another 45 minutes of that will go down a treat. James Ward-Prowse. We need a free kick in this game so Ward-Prowse can show us what he can do from a set piece. Robertson's now on the ball on the left-hand side of the park. He's got Cornet with him. He's giving it to him. Cornet, Ward-Prowse, Paqueta,
nope.
Fernandez. This. Oh, come on, man. That would have been perfect. 15 minutes left until we're the best team in the world, and I'm not being funny. This game hasn't even been that close. Cornet's on the ball with 3 minutes to go. Is he going to find anybody? We're going to go for a third. What's going to happen? Come on, Cornet, man. You're leaving me in suspense here. Oh, all that for that. De Jong, Vlahovic. They're messing around with it too much, and it's bit them in the arse. They messed around with it too much. The full-time whistle has gone. West Ham United are the best team in the world. It's taken us 5 seasons with the wheel dictating what we can do. We've won the Europa League, and we've won the Champions League. And if you enjoyed this video, you should definitely click here to watch me do this with Brighton.